What's up, guys? Welcome back to another MCOC Alliance War, and this one will be a lot more interesting than the last one. So you take a look, see that we're up against a 12 million alliance, and I'm looking at the path that I have to take. There's a mutant over there, a couple science, another mutant, couple mystics, a skill. Then I scroll up here to the mini bosses, and as you can see, there's two magics right there. And then there's a Juggernaut, or not a Juggernaut, a Rhino as the main boss. I'll look over. Actually, I didn't look over at these. Got a screenshot of one, then I went and checked out the other one. So those are all three battle groups, the bosses that we'll have to face. So if I would have looked at that before, I probably wouldn't have brought in Dormammu. In place of Iceman, probably would have just brought in Iceman. Yeah, I wasn't really taking this war too seriously. I wanted to try out Hyperion, and I wanted to try out Dormammu. But yeah, so first off, I started off to the left. I got this beast here. Wasn't sure if it was going to be Nightcrawler or not. I wasn't sure if they were going to place for diversity at all or not, but it kind of seemed like they did with some placements, and then the others weren't so great. Like this one, for instance. Took him down pretty quickly, about 30 seconds right there. So moving back to my path, going over back into the middle, and waited for the node to go down. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, I hope it's not Electro, and it is Electro, but it's not too bad because I did bring in Hyperion. So I'm actually going to spam that L1, get that Incinerate going, do it again. So most of the damage came from that instead of me hitting him. So you see, I did the Incinerate 3 times, fight over very, very quickly. Not sure what rank that Electro was. So see another science, I'm like, is this going to be Spider-Man right here? But it's not. It's actually got Quake here, and come in with the game plan of heavy, do a couple of heavies, and then do a second special. And I end up taking a bit more damage than I should have, just because I got a little greedy right here. I should have backed off, and actually almost got caught with that second special, but luckily I was able to block it. But nonetheless, that fight was over very quickly. Here things get a little bit more interesting. Got a mutant here, and it is Nightcrawler, my old foe. It's the person I ranked up Iceman for. As you see, what I did there was I backed off when I saw him back off, and I fired off my first special, and I knew he was going to block the whole time. Kind of the same thing that I did using Ghost Rider, except it was Ghost Rider's second special and I had to work my way up to it. But yeah, it's a lot easier when you have Hyperion with his power gain. So anyways, bait out that second special so I can fire off my third. I would have liked to have gotten more Furies before doing my third special, but doesn't really matter. And gonna do it again, build up the Furies and go for the third special. I actually could have finished that off with the second special, but it just felt good doing a third special on Nightcrawler a couple of times, putting him down like that. So moving on, get the Mystics here, and was thinking might be a Juggernaut here, might be a Magic, but it is Unstoppable Colossus, so kind of the same as fighting Juggernaut. He does have the armor ups, and of course he does become unstoppable, but he's a bit easier than Juggernaut. Don't get backed up like you do fighting against Juggernaut, so I'm actually pushing him back into the corner, then bait out the special, and then that gives me a little dancing room to wait for Unstoppable to wear off. But it wore off pretty quickly, so he's probably just like signature level 20 or something like that. So again, just backing off, and gonna fire off this second special here, get the armor break. Would have been nice to get the critical hit there, but doesn't really matter. Really like Iron Man's armor break. He does so much damage afterwards, and had a couple of specials there with the because of Mystic Dispersion, but was waiting for him to dash come in, but he didn't, so I just fired it off anyways. Was enough to take him down. So coming up, see another Mystic here, and this one I knew for sure was going to be, or I thought for sure would be Juggernaut. So brought in Dormammu, try him out, try to control his power, and worked fairly good. The one thing I don't like about using Dormammu is just he doesn't hit that hard. Missed the opportunity there to fire off my second special to really control his power, to get the power lock, but doesn't really matter. About to fire it off there. I'm not sure what I was doing the first time, why I didn't fire it off, but yeah, as you see, this fight is going to be a lot longer than the other fights. As like I said, he doesn't hit very hard. Of course, when you fight him as a boss and War Boss or in Alliance Quest, he has all that extra attack, but overall, not that strong of a hitter, and that's why I don't use him much in quests either. See, it's just taken so long to take down Juggernaut. So actually, I shouldn't have used him for this fight, just because I have to use him in the next fight. Just because the next one is it's a bleed note coming up right here, and was a bit impatient, so I healed up a little bit, and I put on some boosts, as I was taking this fight on with the nodes, with the node up, just because I looked at who was up there, and those two people typically are asleep at the time that I was doing this fight, so it's like I didn't feel like waiting, wanted to go ahead and get it done. So I went on and attacked, and then like shortly after taking this node down, another teammate went that way and cleared one of the nodes, so I actually could have waited it out, but like I said, was a bit impatient, and because of that, this is going to be a lot longer than it should have been. So this is the cycle for Moon Knight, where he does evade, but for whatever reason he didn't evade in this fight, I don't think, unless I missed it and he evaded but didn't block or hit me back afterwards. And he's on a plus 20% ability accuracy, so yeah, very surprised about that. But yeah, you see how high this combo is getting. Would have been nice to use like Iceman on this fight, just because he would have been doing more damage, and I definitely wouldn't have had to worry about the evade. Started off the fight careful, and then I got impatient and just went at it, but like I said, luckily he didn't evade at all during that fight. So moving on to the mini boss, we have a 5-star rank 4 magic, and Gonna use Iron Man, and I'm going to use the timeout method with him. One of the things I brought up to my alliance when they said no more defensive kills, and I was like, well, you just use Iron Man and just keep timing out and getting the regen right after the timeout. So that's what I'm going to end up doing in this fight. So you'll see the first fight started off very well. Started to make a few mistakes towards the longer that the fight went on. As you see, I'm getting past that limbo pretty well. It's actually something I'm used to fighting magic with Iron Man, just because I do it in Alliance quests a lot on map 5. So at this point, you know, looking at it, I was feeling pretty well, and then of course got hit there, and then she starts triggering limbo a lot more. There's another limbo because of the kinetic reactor. She is getting health each time power each time I parry. And also when fighting her in Alliance quest, I do fire off either second or third special, but I can't get that high with Iron Man just because of the 20-second power drain. So getting low on health, so this is kind of the danger zone, but I'm going to get that regen here pretty soon. So got the regen, but I'm going to go ahead and time out just before take too much more damage. And I thought I was holding block there, but apparently I wasn't, and I ended up taking too much damage, so I had to threw 6,000 more health on and came back in. So now the fights are going to be a lot shorter, plus I'm making more mistakes. See, I pushed her up to second bar of power there, but I'm going to get the regen here pretty soon. And one thing I didn't really take into consideration before these fights, or even during the fights, was the regen and the armor up, trigger and mystic dispersion. So timed out again there. That time I made sure I backed off. So I want to try Dormammu, and you know, I was thinking, okay, I'll just do like a few hits and then do a finish it off with a medium to do the power drain. But once again, not taking into consideration the kinetic reactor. So yeah, it didn't work out too well for me. As you can see, she's about to get another bar of power. Yeah. So that didn't work out, but you know, chipped a little bit of health off. I think it was like 9,000 from Dormammu. So come back in, and this fight's going to be very quick as well. Trying to bait out specials, but you know, she's not biting into it. And I look and I see, all right, she's up there in power. I have dexterity. If I evade again, she's going to get her third bar of power. So I went ahead and timed out. Give a little parry there for good measure. So I believe this is the final attempt here. So start off triggering limbo, of course, pushing her back, and I get a little carried away here trying to finish off the fight, looking at how much health she has, and she's just triggering limbo each time, even though I'm in the assassin range, but doesn't matter. I was able to finish it off right there. So there we go. Finished my path, then got the boss up next, waiting until the rest of these boss nodes are taken down, and There was one left, and my teammate decided to go at Rhino with that last node up, so didn't get a chance to use Hyperion on him. But yes, so all 3 battle groups we did 100%. So we won. Even if we wouldn't have did 100%, we would have won just off of diversity. So you see they did 98%. They beat us a little bit in defender rating. We actually beat them in defender kills, even though it doesn't matter. And there I am, finally in the MVP section for 15.0 update. So thanks for watching, guys. That's going to do it for this war. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.